The new year is quickly approaching, and you know what that means. Countless New Year's resolutions that you're gonna create and then fail to follow through on. Only 9.2% of people ever achieve their New Year's resolutions. But after watching this video, your odds will be much improved. What's going on, guys? Dr. Jabal, MedSchoolInsiders.com. So many of us get a jolt of excitement and inspiration for the new year. New year, new you. It's a clean slate, a chance to redefine yourself. So you set off on creating a list of things that you want to do differently this year, and 12 months later, you find yourself leaving those promises unfulfilled. And then the cycle repeats. So why do New Year's resolutions fail? The problem isn't you. The problem is your system. Right now, you rely on bursts of motivation and inspiration to carry your behavior changes. But as I've spoken about at length in other videos, that doesn't sustain you. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Not only that, but most of us suck at creating goals. We say things like, quit smoking, or lose weight. Maybe you've set out to read more books, or eat more healthy food, or even learn to play an instrument. These goals place the focus way down the road, far at the finish line. In short, it's unrealistic, unsustainable, and doomed to fail. When setting your New Year's resolutions and defining your goals, they should be smart. Obviously, you don't want stupid goals, but when I say smart, I'm referring to goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, results-focused, and time-bound. Rather than read more books, try read one nonfiction book every 2 weeks by spending 30 minutes each night reading before sleeping. Rather than get in shape, try losing 5 pounds of body fat in 8 weeks by tracking my food intake and eating at a caloric deficit of 400 calories. Rather than double my bench press, try improving my 1 rep max by 10% in 3 months. Rather than go on social media less, try track my social media use daily using the iOS screen time feature and secure an average of 15 minutes or less per day over 7 days. And rather than learn to play an instrument, try learn to play 1 song on guitar in 3 weeks. Nice. Now your goals are rock solid and you're ready to take on all those New Year's resolutions, right? Not so fast. Even with rock solid smart goals, you're still quite likely to face some roadblocks. With too many goals and too few systems in place to reliably implement and sustain them, it just won't work. Instead, as Charles Duhigg points out in The Power of Habit, focus on a keystone habit that results in a domino effect aligning multiple other areas in your life. Remember that small, incremental improvements are more likely than dramatic shifts to actually result in the outcome you desire. For me, that was simply prioritizing going to the gym at minimum 5 days a week, but optimally 6 days per week. This was my keystone habit. I didn't target a certain weight on my lifts, rapid muscle gain, cardiovascular fitness, or even postural improvements. All of those are important outcomes to me, but I knew they would fall in line if I just managed to be consistent in going to the gym. And after a few months of sticking to it, I'm proud to say that I have indeed come a long way. Going to the gym almost every day required me to ride my bike, so of course my cardiovascular fitness improved. Lifting regularly contributed to an increase in appetite, so I added mass and strength. I performed a balanced weight training program, so naturally my posture and flexibility improved as well. Figure out what your own keystone habit is and drive your energy and focus there. Next, embrace the inevitable. It's going to happen. Whether 1 week or 1 month into the new year, you are going to slip up. You'll miss that day at the gym, or you'll find yourself watching F1 racing when you should have been studying instead. The fact that you slipped in a moment of weakness isn't the important part. The important part is what you do next. If you get discouraged, give up, and revert back to your old ways, then you've failed. But if you know you're going to have bumps along the way, Then you'll get back up, brush it off, and reevaluate your system and strengthen it so that it doesn't happen again. Going back to my regular gym sessions, I found that when I pushed the session past 6 p.m., I had a much higher failure rate. After realizing this pattern, I readjusted my system and began ensuring I would go to the gym in the morning or at latest, mid-afternoon. Lastly, don't feel pressured into making New Year's resolutions. I used to since everyone else was, but now I haven't made New Year's resolutions in years. I find that it just doesn't appeal to my personality. For those of you who are scratching your heads right now, check out my video on the 4 personality tendencies, where I go over how you can use study hacks and productivity habits that cater to your personality type. As a questioner, the way I see it is I create new habits and implement systems any time of the year, not just on an arbitrary day because it's a new year. For example, in 2013, I started a plant-based diet just 3 days before Thanksgiving. I'm no longer on a plant-based diet, but that's another story. People thought I was crazy for starting this new diet just days before a holiday that focuses on food. But to me, it didn't matter whether I started the day before Thanksgiving or the day after. It was a decision I made, and I was focused on implementing it regardless of outside variables. This works for me, but it's not for everyone, and there's nothing wrong with setting New Year's resolutions. But I urge you not to get carried away in the self-congratulatory behavior of setting resolutions, and instead focus on implementing the systems that, over the long term, will deliver the results that you seek. Now, did you enjoy this video? I actually got the idea from speaking with one of my Patreon supporters on our monthly video chat. If you too would like to support Med School Insiders and have your voice heard on upcoming videos, consider supporting us on Patreon. Your support makes it possible for us to continue producing videos like these. In return, you'll receive exclusive Patreon-only access to video chats with me and much more. There's commentary to go along with each YouTube video where I dive in depth and explain the inspiration and additional points that I couldn't fit in the original video. The commentary for this video goes more in depth with additional New Year's resolutions examples and success stories. There's also behind the scenes access where you can see how I research and create my videos, as well as a monthly Q&A where I answer all of your questions. Visit patreon.com/medschoolinsiders to learn more. If you liked the video, let me know with a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what are your New Year's resolutions for this year. New videos come out every Saturday morning, so make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you guys in that next one.